my name is Amy and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be trying Canadian snacks. On today's menu we have Lay's ketchup chips, Ruffles, all dressed, Macintosh's toffee, Nestle Kit Kat, and Brown Bear chocolate. We also have one drink, and that is this GFS hot chocolate. Before I get started, I just want to mention a few quick things. First of all, I want to say that years ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, but maybe when I was in elementary school, I went on a trip to Canada with my parents. We drove from our home state of Massachusetts, where we were living at the time, to Canada by car, of course. And while we were there, we were in Quebec and Montreal, but I did not eat any authentic Canadian foods while I was in Canada then. I had, cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets, and I think one time we even ate Greek food, or was it Middle Eastern food? I can't remember, but all those things that you can find here in America where I live. And recently, my parents went on a trip to Canada, so I made a list for them of snacks that I wanted them to pick up for me, and they picked up some of those snacks. I don't have a huge selection. My mom is a health nut, or at least I call her a health nut. She's very big into taking vitamins and eating organic and all natural foods, and she's not very big on snacks. The ones that we do eat at home come from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, where the snacks are a lot healthier for you and made with better ingredients than the ones you find in your local grocery store or supermarket. So when my parents were getting ready to go to Canada, I made them a list of snacks I wanted them to bring back for me. And my mom, she reads the ingredients and really pays attention to what she's buying. So she decided, because she was going up to Canada and their snacks are different than what we have here in the States, that she would buy me a few things, but she didn't get much because she reads the ingredients, and the ingredients on a lot of the snacks on my list are not exactly the healthiest. Also, before my parents went to Canada recently and they were getting ready to go, I went on a website called Yahoo Answers, where you can ask questions and people will answer them. And I asked the people online what kinds of snacks and treats and other things my parents should bring back for me, and they gave me a list, and I just wanted to quickly mention a few things. First of all, one of the things on the list was Kinder Eggs, and a lot of people get confused about Kinder Eggs here in the States. There are two types of Kinder Eggs. There's the Kinder Joy and the Kinder Surprise. The Kinder Surprise egg is a chocolate egg with a toy inside. Those are illegal to sell in the States. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I read somewhere that you can sell those eggs, but you have to pay a tax for every egg you sell. Like I said, I don't know whether that's true or not, but I do know that Kinder Surprise eggs are illegal because it's a chocolate egg that has a toy inside. The Kinder Joy eggs, you can actually sell those in the States, and a lot of people are saying that Kinder Joy eggs are coming to the States. If you go to some foreign food stores here in the States, you will find Kinder Joy eggs. They already sell them here, and the difference between a Kinder Joy and a Kinder Surprise is that the Kinder Joy is divided in half. So basically the packaging for the Kinder Joy, it looks like a standard Kinder egg, but the packaging is divided in half. So when you open the packaging into two halves, one half contains the edible chocolatey ingredients of the Kinder egg, and the other half contains the toy, making it a lot safer for kids to eat. The reason Kinder Surprise eggs were banned in the States is because a completely chocolatey egg surrounds a toy, and it poses a choking hazard to kids.
So I'm now in a kosher Israeli supermarket, and I just wanted to show you their Kinder shelf.
I also wanted to say that somebody did mention Maltesers, and I've seen a few commercials recently, and apparently they're bringing Maltesers to the States. I have yet to find them in my local grocery store or supermarket.
Hi, my name is Casperly, and Maltesers have asked me to make an epic music video. What are Maltesers, you might ask? They're chocolatey, crunchy, light and airy scented, and are new in the United States. Did I get it, Danny?
But as I'm sure some of you already know, we have a candy here in the States called Whoppers, which is the equivalent of Maltesers. Maltesers and Whoppers are basically malted milk balls, and maybe you have this where you live as well, but here in the States, in a lot of candy stores or candy shops or whatever you want to call them, we do have malted milk balls that you can buy by weight or however it works. But our big brand here is Whoppers, which I don't know if it tastes like Maltesers, but it is a malted milk ball, just like Maltesers are malted milk balls. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, Cadbury, because I think somebody commented on my Yahoo Answers post and wrote something about Cadbury. Cadbury is a company that years ago was big in the States. Of course, here in the States we have Hershey's, and this is our big chocolate company, and Cadbury was also big at one point, but Hershey's decided that they wanted to be the only company that sells chocolate here in the States, besides Lindt and Ghirardelli. But what makes Lindt and Ghirardelli chocolates different is that they actually have stores and actually more of a high-end chocolate. Hershey's is more of like a snacking chocolate. They wanted to be the only company to sell chocolate. So years ago, you used to see a lot of Cadbury advertisements on TV here in the States, especially for Cadbury Easter eggs around Easter. But I don't see so many of those advertisements anymore. They still do sell Cadbury products here in the States. We have a few, like dairy milk, for example, and they do sell Cadbury Easter eggs around Easter. But because Hershey's, like I said, wants to be the only company that sells chocolate here, they've really tried to stop how many Cadbury products get sold here in the States.
So I'm currently in Walgreens. As you can see at the bottom here, I will zoom in. That is Cadbury Dairy Milk. We also in the States have these Cadbury, and like I said before, we sell Cadbury Easter eggs around Easter.
And I also want to mention something about Kit Kats. We do have Kit Kats in the States. In other countries, Kit Kats are made by Nestle, but in the States, Hershey's makes our Kit Kats. They are the exact same as the Kit Kats you find in other countries. As far as taste, people say that the Nestle Kit Kats are better, but I'm going to taste this in a little bit and tell you whether that's true or not. Also, I wanted to say something about Lay's. We do have Lay's chips here in the States. I have yet to find ketchup chips, and we also have Ruffles in the States too. We do not have all dressed chips here in the States. We have other Ruffles chips. But the thing I wanted to mention about potato chips is that somebody commented on my Yahoo Answers post and wrote something about dill pickle chips. I was in one of my local stores and I actually saw a bag of dill pickle chips. So we have those in the States. Like I said, we do not have ketchup or all dressed, but dill pickle is a flavor that I have seen in my local stores here in the States.
There's a bunch of different flavors of Lay's that are sold here in the States. As you can see, I thought we had ketchup, but I guess not. We do, as you can see, have dill pickle.
In the previous video, I forgot to mention something about Smarties, so I'm going to mention it now. We have a candy called Smarties here in the States, but it's different than the one sold in Canada and the United Kingdom. The candy called Smarties sold in Canada and the United Kingdom is more like M&M's. It is a chocolate candy that is coated with some kind of candy coating. In the States, our Smarties look like tablets, and I'm not talking about the tablets like an iPad or a Samsung tablet or anything like that. I'm talking about tablets like medicinal tablets, the ones that you take if you're sick, or the tablets you put in your water that dissolve. So our Smarties here are colored with various pastel colors, and they're a little bit sour, a little bit sweet. and at least in my opinion, they taste powdery. I love American Smarties, but they do taste powdery when you bite into them. They kind of break into a fine powder. But overall, they are really good. I have yet to try Canadian or English Smarties, but hopefully in the future I will make a part 2 where I will try even more candies from Canada, or I will try some candies from the UK, and I will try Smarties.
Alrighty, so this is a big 16-ounce value bag, but as you can see, these are American Smarties, which are, like I said, different from Canadian Smarties.
The last thing I want to mention is that somebody mentioned Mars bars, and when I was talking to my mom about snacks she should bring me back, she was telling me that we have Mars here in the States. We do not have Mars bars here in the States. We used to have them, but they were discontinued in 2002, so they are no longer sold. I think we do have some chocolates here that are made by the Mars Candy Company, but that's different than the actual Mars bar itself. And now let's get on to trying our food and seeing how good it is or not good it is. And I don't know if I've mentioned this yet or not, but there are thousands of videos on YouTube of people trying snacks from other countries. But you have to understand, as I'm sure most of you do, that every person has their own opinions and thoughts and other things like that. So even though there are thousands of videos, my opinions, my thoughts, etc. are different than those of the other people throughout YouTube. Anyways, let's get started. So I think I'm going to start with something sweet first, and I'm going to go for the Macintosh's toffee. This thing right here. And as you can see, it is one solid block of caramel colored candy. And as I'm touching it, it feels hard. So I'm hoping I'll be able to bite into this and not actually break a tooth or anything like that. But let's try it out and see what happens. Wow, this is rock hard. Like I said, I thought I might almost break a tooth, and I actually think that could happen because this is so hard I can't even bite into it. And the little piece that did come off got kind of stuck to my teeth, like most sticky things do. But licking this, I can tell that it is really good. It's not too sweet, it's not too salty, there's a great balance in the flavor. It tastes like a caramel, and I love caramel or caramel or whatever you want to call it. As far as actually biting this, I don't know if I will be able to bite this. I may have to leave it out to soften before I actually eat any more of this, but I can lick it. That's the only way I can actually get the flavor, because like I said, this is super rock hard. Even though it does bend a little bit if you really try. It is super rock hard and you can't even break it. But it is really good in terms of the flavor when I lick this.
Alrighty, so update. I put my Macintosh toffee in the microwave for 20 seconds just to soften it up a little bit to make it easier to eat. And I found that after you soften it and it does become very pliable, it makes a really good Play-Doh type toy. I was just bored, so I kind of twisted it into this shape. But anyways, I'm chewing on some of it right now. And it is very sticky and very chewy. The flavor is still good though.
But I'm just not a big fan of the fact that it's getting stuck to my teeth and that it's taking forever to chew through this. Alrighty, next we're going to try the Kit Kat. And I'm going to see whether it's better or worse or what it is in terms of the Kit Kats we sell here in America, made by Hershey's. So as you can see, it looks like the Kit Kats we sell here in America. There are 2 rectangles of Kit Kat here in this package because it is a bigger package. It's not as small like a snack size. And there are 4 Kit Kat strips on this one Kit Kat rectangle. I'm sure you have this in other countries as well. In America, we sell tiny snack size Kit Kats, single serve packages I should say, that have 2 Kit Kat strips in every package. So I'm going to break 1 strip and I'm going to try it. This is really good. In comparison to what we have here in the States, I don't see a difference in flavor. Maybe because I don't eat Kit Kats as often, that I have nothing really to compare it to. But the chocolate, it's milk chocolate and I love milk chocolate. It's very tasty. I have no complaints so far. This is really good. And like I said, no real difference that I see between this one and the one we have here in America. And it's just as crunchy, it's just as sweet and chocolatey, and it's really good. And also this Kit Kat that I have now traveled some distance and it is a little bit melted, but I actually love my food that way. I love it just a little bit melted. Next we're going to try this Brown Bear chocolate. And a word about this Brown Bear chocolate. In Whistler, Canada, there is a hotel called the Fairmont Whistler, and there's a chef there who hand makes this chocolate, and this is where my parents got it. If you're ever looking for a Brown Bear, it is not some mass-produced chocolate brand. It was handmade with love and care in a hotel, the Fairmont Whistler in Whistler, Canada. And that is why my parents got it for me, because it's handmade and also it's milk chocolate. And like I said before, I love milk chocolate. Actually, the name of the hotel in the back is the Fairmont Chateau Whistler. And it's made by Chef Anoop. And one of the things I really like is that it has this little gold seal on the back, which makes the packaging look a little bit fancier. And also the wrap on the front looks really cool with the gold. And just the way that it's designed, I really like that. And also I love that it's called Brown Bear. 1, because chocolate is a brown color, and 2, because bears are very commonly found in Canada. When my parents were there, they saw a lot of bears. Alrighty, so after opening this chocolate, I find that it is wrapped in this kind of, I guess, like a parchment paper type of wrapping, and it actually looks like a newspaper if you really unwrap it and you look at it, which I think is so cool. It has some news stories about the Fairmont Chateau and probably other things around Whistler. And this is just your standard milk chocolate bar. It doesn't have any special designs on it. It's just broken up into little rectangles to make it easier for you to break apart and eat, which is what I'm going to do now. Oh my God. I've had Hershey's milk chocolate, and I love Hershey's milk chocolate. And I've had Lindt chocolate, milk chocolate I should say. I've had Ghirardelli milk chocolate. I've had milk chocolate from a lot of different milk chocolate brands. I have yet to try Cadbury. I'm not trying the Cadbury chocolate that is sold here in the States because I want to go to Canada or to England and actually try the chocolate, since those are the areas where the chocolate is most commonly sold. But this is the best milk chocolate I've ever tasted. It is not too sweet, not too savory, you know. sometimes when you make chocolate, you put a little bit of salt or something in there. It is, of course, a little bit melting because it made a journey here to the States from Canada. But like I said, I love melty chocolate. I think this is really good, and I highly recommend if you're ever at the Fairmont Chateau Whistler, you can pick yourself up some Brown Bear chocolate. Plus, like I said, this wrapping is everything. I love it so much that it looks like a newspaper, and the outer brown paper wrapping is also really cool with all its designs and everything like that. Next, we're going to go into our next snack, and we're going to try our potato chips. We're going to start off with the Lay's ketchup chips, which a lot of people highly recommend these, and they say they're really good, but I'm going to see for you right now whether or not they're good. So this is what they look like. So it's a regular potato chip coated in something that is dark red or purplish red or whatever you want to call it, that is supposed to be the ketchup coating, and I'm going to see whether or not it actually tastes like ketchup. This is really good. It's perfectly vinegary. It's perfectly salty. It tastes exactly like ketchup. And one of my favorite ketchup brands here in the States is Heinz. And this tastes like Heinz ketchup or like any other ketchup brand. I don't know how they did it, but they got the ketchup flavor in this chip, and it is really good. It also, as I'm eating more and more, kind of tastes like a salt and vinegar chip. I love Lay's salt and vinegar chips. And like I said, these are really good. I highly recommend next time you're in Canada to get some ketchup chips and try them out. They are amazing. Like I said, not too salty, not too vinegary, perfect flavor. Tastes exactly like ketchup. How they do that, I don't know. But they do, and everything they make tastes exactly like it's supposed to. Next, we're going to move on to the Ruffles, and we're going to try the Ruffles and see if these are any good. These are also another potato chip that people say that you have to try from Canada. So this is what it looks like, just your standard Ruffles potato chip. You can't really see a covering on it. I mean, if you look really, really close, you can see little specks of like pepper. You can see that it's colored a little bit differently than your standard Ruffles potato chip. So we're going to try this and see if it's any good. So we have sour cream and cheddar cheese, or sour cream and cheese, I don't know what you call them, potato chips here in the States. I don't know if you have those in other countries, but Ruffles makes these sour cream and I guess cheddar cheese chips, and this tastes like one of those. Not too salty. All the flavors are balanced perfectly, and this is really good. I'm obsessed with these. I'm going to keep eating because they're just so good. Everything, like I said, is balanced perfectly. Not too much salt, not too much of any of the other flavors that are in here. They taste kind of cheesy. They taste really, really good. Highly recommend these as well. Alright, so it's been a few days of me eating Ruffles all dressed chips and Lay's ketchup chips, and I have to say that those are an acquired taste, if you could even call them that. And by acquired taste, I mean that when I first put a Ruffles all dressed chip in my mouth, and I first put a Lay's ketchup chip in my mouth, the flavor was very, very strong. But after a few days of eating these, I don't taste the strong flavor so much anymore. Also, I wanted to say that I found interesting that in the Ruffles, I was reading the ingredients on the back, and it lists malic acid, which is nothing dangerous. It's nothing scary or harmful or anything like that. Malic acid is a powder, and if you haven't heard of it, if you live in America, you'll know of toxic waste and warheads, which are two very sour candies. And malic acid is very, very sour powder that is used to give the sour flavor in candies like toxic waste and warheads. They also probably use malic acid on Sour Patch Kids or sour gummy worms or other sour candies like that. If you have a sour candy in your country, chances are they use malic acid to make it really, really sour. And like I said, it's nothing harmful or anything like that, but it just surprised me that in the all-dressed chips, they would use a sour malic acid powder. And the last thing we're going to try is the hot chocolate. The last thing we're going to try is the hot chocolate. And this GFS hot chocolate, I figured it was from Canada because it has English and French writing on it. And a lot of people in Canada, especially in Quebec and other places around Canada, speak French. And this is not some well-known hot chocolate brand they sell all throughout Canada. My parents were up in a hotel in Canada, and you know how in the hotels they give you little packets of coffee and little bags of tea and whatever else in the room, and you can put it in the coffee maker that they provide for you and make a drink for yourself. So they got this from one of the hotels that they were staying at, and they brought it home for me. So I'm going to make some hot chocolate and try it now, and we'll see how it is. Alrighty, so first of all, I've got my cup that has a lid and a straw and a handle, and I use this anytime I'm drinking something hot or something cold, or just drinking anything in general, I should say, because the lid prevents it from spilling all over the place, and I like that there's a straw to drink from. So I'm just going to pour my hot chocolate powder into this cup. I'm going to put the camera down for a second so I can open the hot chocolate package. Alrighty, so I've opened the hot chocolate package, and I'm just going to pour it into my cup. Alrighty, so now that I've poured the hot chocolate mix, as you can see, into my cup, I'm going to heat the water. And my family has one of these electronic tea kettles. So it's got different settings on the side, as you can see, for delicate, green, white, oolong, French press, and so on and so forth. We just choose the boil setting and then start. And we're going to wait for this to boil up. Alrighty, so the water has come to a boil, and it did beep, but I didn't pick up my camera in time to listen to it beep. So we're just going to take this water over to our cup and pour it in. How much water you pour depends on how much hot chocolate you want. And now I'm just going to get a spoon and stir this all together. I did not want a lot of hot chocolate, so as you can see, there's not much in here. This is just to test the hot chocolate to make sure that it actually tastes good. And I'm going to put the lid onto my cup. And I'm not going to screw it in because I'm just doing a taste test. And now we're going to try the hot chocolate. Of course, you want to wait a little bit for your hot chocolate to cool down before you put it in your mouth, or you could burn your tongue a little bit. But I'm going to take a teeny tiny sip just to try it out. This hot chocolate is really good. It's perfectly sweet. It's perfectly chocolatey. We have this hot chocolate brand here in the States called Swiss Miss, which also sells packets of hot chocolate that you can mix with water. And I love their hot chocolate. I think it is really good. And this kind of tastes like Swiss Miss. Take one more sip. Really good. I really like it. And I am definitely going to finish this off in a little bit. But overall, all the Canadian snacks I got and all the Canadian treats I got and whatever, they were all really good. Highly recommend you get all of them when you go to Canada. Anyways, I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you like, and I hope you subscribe, and all the good things. And I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!
She only jams the music from the